We have some significant breaking news from the NHL. Noah Dobson has been traded to the Montreal Canadiens and signed a long-term extension. We'll discuss the return, the extension, and how it affects both clubs coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some pretty significant breaking news here from the NHL. All the rumors around Noah Dobson being on the trade block obviously were true. We just discussed last night, in fact, that Montreal was one of the teams in the mix and kind of considered by many the leading contender. There were other teams, including Columbus, involved here. Some Western teams like St. Louis and Utah had a lot of interest, but it was believed Dobson was only going to sign with an Eastern Conference team. That was his preference, and there was reports last night that we discussed as well, saying that their belief was, if he had his way, first choice to sign was Montreal. So this is a sign and trade type of transaction. So essentially he's signing with the Islanders to get the 8-year contract with an average annual value of $9.5 million. There was a lot of talk he wanted $11 million. So clearly, I think that may have been a little bit overblown. Also, for the people who like to go on with the no state taxes being such a competitive disadvantage for everybody else, we've seen John Tavares take less to stay in Toronto today, and we're seeing Noah Dobson take less than rumored to sign in Montreal. So I really don't know that that's as big of an issue as people go on about. Anyway, the return to the New York Islanders include 2 first-round picks. Montreal was holding picks number 16 and 17 in tonight's NHL draft. Both picks are going to the New York Islanders, and they also get a younger player in Emil Heineman. I'm a little bit surprised there's no younger defensive player here. There was a lot of talk that either a combination of one of Logan Mailloux, maybe Reinbacher, but it was Mailloux's name was the one that was kind of bantered around being a lot more likely being included here. A little surprised the Islanders don't get a defensive prospect back. Those picks are good. I don't know what they're going to do with them. I honestly think the end goal here for the Islanders is to get James Hagens in the draft tonight. I mean, that's the speculation has been for some time. Of course, they have first overall, where they're likely to taking Matthew Schaefer, and they'd like to get the homegrown talent, Long Island kid James Hagens, on their selections as well. I wonder if they'll take pick 16, 17, and maybe something else, whether it be Alexander Romanov or John Gabriel Pageau or maybe even Heineman, something along those lines, and try to get up into the top maybe 5-6 spots. I'm not sure, between Utah, Nashville, Philly, Boston. Like, they're going to try to move up there because we know Hagens is likely going to be available past 4, but I don't know that he gets past 5. It's hard to say. So we'll have to see what happens here. I think it's a good return for Dobson. The 2 first-rounders normally would be good, but the fact that they're not higher, unless they get Hagens or get another higher pick to get a higher-end prospect out of this, I'm not sure. I love the deal. But the thing with Dobson is I understand they had to weigh out the option of paying him versus trading him. And I get they weren't crazy with the contract. I know he's got a lot of offensive talent with a lot of defensive work to be done, we'll say. Montreal is probably thinking of a top pair here of Hudson and Dobson. Offensively, they'll put up a ridiculous amount of points. But defensively, both have a lot of work to do on their game. So we'll see. I still think the upside of Dobson outweighs what the Habs gave up here. They have so many prospects that really they can afford to do what they did. So I'd like this deal a lot for Montreal. Be curious to see how his game evolves, especially from the defensive side. But from the Islanders' perspective, Emil Heineman is a decent bottom 6 player. Does have a little bit of offensive upside. Strong motor, goes to the net, forechecks hard. Skating is good. Doesn't have a ton of skill with the puck. So to me, that kind of restricts him to being more of a bottom 6 grinder, not really even a grinder, but just a forechecker, so he can play, but there's nothing to get excited about, in my opinion, with that. So I really think you're going to see another move, at least I hope, for the Islanders' sake, to take these picks and to try to move up. If they can get Hagens or another high-end player out of this, it'll be better. But right now, depending on what they do with those picks, will determine, I guess, what I really truly feel about this. But for Montreal, this is a great deal. I like the contract. I really like the player, and I think he obviously serves a need what they were looking for. I do think this is going to, whether they're going to create like more moves involving other younger D players within the organization. There's only so much room there, and with the amount of minutes and time that you're going to already get, like Dobson and Hudson logging, and Caden Gooley's going to take up a lot of time there. And you still got, other guys like Reinbacher and Mayu and, Arbor Jacki and, Jaden Struble, and there's so many, and you're going to mix in a few veterans you have around. They can't all be Canadian, so we'll see what happens here. We could see some other subsequent moves to get some other stuff here, so we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts on the trade in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with the latest news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.